everyone. So here are the chapter 11. So we tackle the era network competition. Based on an analysis of the leading companies in the survey to have identified 6 consistent characteristics exhibited by those companies. First, outside in focus. Leading supply chain are designed from the customer's backward and are demand driven. So, an outside in focus is nangahulugan na ang supply chain ay idinisenyo mula ha pananaw mga customer. Ini ay demand driven. Ibig sabihin ay sistema hit supply chain nga nag-a-adjust sa pangailangan hit customer. So, ang kupunan ng supply chain ay nagtatrabaho para ha pangailangan ng customer, pagpaplano ng pagproduksyon ng pagbahagihan produkto. Embedded innovation. This implies a close integration between product design, manufacturing, and logistics to ensure that the supply chain begins on the drawing board. So, an embedded innovation ay ugnayan nga pagitan ng design hit produkto. Paghimongan pag-logistic para ang supply chain, magtikang ha drawing board. So, ini na proseso at supply chain nasa kubtikang katikang hit produkto. Extended supply chain. A recognition that today's world of global supply chain and outsourcing that the close management and relationship from end to end is essential. So, an extended supply chain is nangahulugan na pagkilala ha kasalukuyan na mundohan global chain ngan outsourcing. Dinhi na ang pag-unawahan bug sa supply chain. Tikang pag-manufacture, pagkuha ng produkto nga kailangan maayos ang pamamahalang ang relasyon. So, dinhi nga paraan hit kumpanya mas magiging epektibo ang pagsagot hamon hit global market ngan mas hitaas ang kalidad ng serbisyo ng produkto han supply chain. Balance metrics. In order to achieve high levels of agility and responsiveness, there has to be a realization there will be a trade-off across the business. To achieve the best overall outcome requires a set of key performance indicators and reflect the need of balance. So, dapat ang layunin naantas sa agilidad nga responsibilidad. Mahalaga na maintindihan na may mga trade-off habugos na negosyo para makamit ang kabugusan nga resulta. Kailangan maset ang key performance indicator na kailangan mabalanse. Attitude. A culture that extends across the organization based on the recognition that internal silos must be removed and that external relationship need to be managed in a spirit of partnership. Supply chain talent. Supply chain are as much about people as anything. Leading companies actively seek to develop the skills and capabilities that will enable success on the previous 5 elements. So, sa supply chain, diri hala tungkol sa mga produkto ng proseso pero patigihap ha mga tao. Ha kumpanya kasi dapat na aktibo ang na gimbibiling paraan para palaguon ang kasanayan ng kakayahan ng irang mga tauhan. So, mahalaga ini na bahagi para maging successful ang supply chain.
The new organizational paradigm. It will be apparent that to achieve success in all of these areas will require significant change within the company. The need for new business models. Most of us work in organizations that are hierarchical, vertical, and functionally defined. The organization chart for the typical company resembles a pyramid and provides a clear view of where everyone fits in relation to each other and will also normally reflect reporting relationship. Collaboration in the supply chain. It will be clear that one of the key ingredients of supply chain management excellence is a is a high level of collaboration across the network. The prisoner's dilemma, penalty option, years in jail. The prisoner's dilemma, penalty option, years in jail. On fees 2.2, 1.5, 5.170. Concept of co-makership or partnership sourcing. Co-makership may be defined as the development of a long-term relationship with a limited number of suppliers on the basis of mutual confidence. The supplier should be considered to be an extension of the customer operation, with the emphasis on continuity and a seamless end-to-end pipeline. The impact of supply managing supply chain as network. To manage in such a radically revised, competitive structure clearly requires different skills and priorities to those employed in the traditional model. To achieve market leadership in the world of network computation necessitates a focus on network management as well as upon internal process of the many issues and challenging facing organizations as they make the transition to this new competitive environment. The following are perhaps most significant. Number 1, collective strategy development. For network computation to be truly effective, a significantly higher level of joint strategy development is required. This means that network members must collectively agree strategic goals for the network and the means of attaining them. Number 2, win-win thinking. Win-win need not mean 50-50, but at a minimum, all partners should benefit and be better off as a result of cooperation. Number 3, open communication. One of the most powerful drivers of change in marketing network has been the advent of information technology. Marketing the exchange of information between supply chain partners so easy and so advantageous. Thank you. That's
7 major business transformations. 1. From supplier-centric to customer-centric. Traditionally, supply chains have been designed from the factory outwards rather than from the customer backwards into the highly competitive marketplace. The goal must change to the attainment of higher levels of customer responsiveness. Thus, agility rather than cost becomes the key. Number 2. From the push to pull. Closely linked to the first transformation is the idea of moving from a production push mentally, which seeks to optimize operations through level scheduling and long planning horizons, to a demand pull philosophy in which ideally nothing is made, sourced or moved until there is a demand for it. Number 3. From inventory to information. The focus has been to look ahead over a planning horizon and to predict demand at a point in time and then to build inventory against the forecast. 4. From transactions to relationships, there is a growing recognition that the route to sustain the profitability is through building long-term relationship with selected customers. The focus in the past was on volume and market share, and the company was transactional on its orientation. 5. From truck sheds to end-to-end pipeline management. There is widely held view that the real task of supply chain management is to coordinate the wider and end-to-end pipelines. Inbound logistics is just as critical as the distribution of final product. Under this paradigm, and the emphasis is now on time compression from one end of the supply chain to the other. Number 6. From functions to processes. It is now suggested that the emphasis in organization should be upon the key business processes that create value of customers. Number 7. From stand-alone competition to network rivalry. The trend to outsourcing has increased. There has come to a realization that the competitive vehicle is no longer the individual firm, but rather the supply chain of which that firm is a member.
The implications for tomorrow's logistic managers. Transformation of the type outlined above have significant implication for the type of skill profile that will characterize a successful logistic and supply chain managers. The following quotation from an article in the Harvard Business Review neatly summarizes the issue. Supply chains, it seems, are really about talent, not technology, especially as the marketplace grows more complex. T-shaped managers are so called because of their skill profile. They also have a significant understanding of the other key business functions. So T-shaped managers are the managers who are collaborative and innovative, ensure that organization remains competitive. Table 11.1 suggests some of the elements of the necessary skill profile that flow from the 7 business transformation. Ini nga table 11.1 namin yan may the business transformation leading to tapos skills required. As adiluwat nga figure 11.3 amin ni an creating T-shaped skill profile. Effective process management requires significant cross-functional skills. Manager have in-depth expertise on one discipline combined with another breadth to see connections with others. Supply chain orchestration. With the emergence of the virtual organization and the extended enterprise comes and heightened requirement for some way of managing the complexity that is inevitably created. Henry Ford had an integrated supply chain because in effect he owned most of it, as well as the vast majority of all the components that went into the vehicle. The company also owned steel mills, rubber plantations, and mahogany forests. The task of managing, coordinating, and focusing the value-creating network might usually be termed supply chain orchestration. The idea of the orchestration is that there has to be a common agreed agenda driving the achievement of the supply chain goals. Innovative organization can utilize the superior supply chain capabilities to act as orchestrator. Lai and Fung, supply chain orchestrator, is a long-established Hong Kong-based trading company orchestrating one of the largest and most successful of all outsourced manufacturing network. It supplies apparel, accessories, sporting equipment, household goods, and toys to retail chains located mostly in North America and Europe. The secret of L&F's success is that it has learned how to manage outsourced operation through hands-off relationship with over 7,500 trusted and very specialized manufacturing organization, and L&F ensures their loyalty by pre-booking between 30 to 70% of selected suppliers' capacity each season and rewarding high performers with more business.
From 3PL to 4PL. 3PL or third-party logistics are companies that provide a range of logistics activities for their clients. They might operate distribution centers, manage the delivery of the product through the transport fleets, or undertake value-adding services such as repacking. 4PL, fourth party logistics, was originated by the consulting company Accenture. The underpinning principle was that because modern supply networks are increasingly global and certainly more complex, the capability to manage the network probably do not exist in one organization. So, itong pinagkaiba itong 3PL ngayon 4PL is that 3PL is na-focus lahiya ha logistics ha delivery hiton mga era services about hiya hiton pag-distribute iton mga products from one place to another. So ha 4PL liwat, it iya main focus is to manage the whole supply chain. Amo itot 4PL. The figure above shows the 4PL concept, which is the primary client's contribution, 3PL service providers contribution, and the partners contribution. Under hiton primary client's contribution is the startup equity, assets, working capital, operational expertise, operational staff, procures, logistics services from 4PL organization. So amo niya iton mga primary client hiton 4PL. Next one is the 3PL service providers contribution. May dala po duha. The first one is the transportation services and warehouse facilities. Kumbaga, amoy lain hiya iton mga part hiton logistics, like about hiton mga service hiton mga products, tapos kung nga inhira ginsa store. And the next one is partners contribution. Under hiton is may the set up equity, logistics strategy, re-engineering skill, best practice benchmarks, IT development, customer service management, supplier management, and logistics consultancy. The key characteristics. The first one is hybrid organization, formed from a number of different entities. So meaning inihiya dinhi bagan nabuo hiya diri laha usa ka organization, kumbaga halo lahiya from private sector, nahaluan hiya iba pang kaning sector like sa public. And the next one is typically established as JV or long-term contract. So inihiya bagan derhiyaan pan guti ay la talaga nga bagan pang matagalan ini sa rin pa. The next one is alignment of goals of partners and clients through profit sharing. Meaning same goal hira iton mga magpa-partners hininga organization is madihira same goal, which is iton makakita hirahin tama, tapos batag-batag hin tama gihap. And then responsible for management and operation of entire supply chain. So pag magbi-business ka dere to sa ring ikaw la iton bagan makarawat ka la dere sa ring nga boss ka dere ka magtatrabaho, so responsible liwat hiya ikaw as a tagiya or employee, responsible ka hiton pag-manage hiton pangkabugusan nga operation. And the next one is continual flow of information between partners and 4PL organization. And last one is the potential for revenue generation. Amula. Whether the 4PL be a joint venture or some other model, there are 4 key components that must be in place. The first one is system architecture and integration skills. Number 2, a supply chain control room. Dinha supply chain control room, kumbaga amin hit pinakas bagan monitoring or sagad. And The third one is ability to capture and utilizes information and knowledge across the network. So, importante inihiya kay para sugad updated ka permihiton mga nananabo ha gamit iton ko anla bisan gamit la iton technology kay kung sugad may dangayan problema tapos dari ka maaram hiton bali-balita, di ba? So inhi importante inhi dinhi nga makakahagilap ka hiton mga information gamit itong technology. And number 4 is access to best of breed asset providers. So inhiya bagan access, meaning may daka ano pa other term nito access, may daka source there basta makakahagilap ka gihap iton sagad iton lagi paras na makahagilap ka iton mga importante nga information lagi ha pinaka-importante nga mga asset providers. Figure 11.5 shows the 4 key components a 4PL must assemble. So, as you can see, may dakita didiha usa ka 4PL, may dakita 4, which is the architect or integrator, and control room or the intelligence, the supply chain intermediary, and the resource providers. So, architect integrator, may nakabutang na change leader. Under her change leader is ada itong supply chain visionary, multiple customer relationship, meaning inihi dinhi madali kadaupan hiton mga customer nimo or accessible ka sagad. Deal shaper and maker, supply chain re-engineers, project management, service, system and information integrator, and continuous innovation. Continuous innovation, meaning dere na istapit imo new products. Kausa ka bagong product. Kumbaga, continuous talaga hiya. May bago kaya na nga product, meaning may dakalagi ongoing nga bago nga product. Bagan upgrade laba. The next one is control room. Ada hiya decision makers. Kumbaga amin hiyat mga bida-bida. Decision makers, experienced logisticians, optimization engines and decision support, neutral positioning, manage multiple 3PLs and continuous improvement. So, architect or integrator, continuous innovation, didilota decision makers is continuous improvement, meaning parehas la. Information nervous system, adhiya supply chain intermediary. So ito didi pagan information tanan imo makukuha kay information nervous system. IT system integration, IT infrastructure provision, real-time data to information, convert data to information, provide info to point of need and technical support. Meaning ininhiya din ni aada itong tanan nga information or mga related computer, internet, networks, sugad. And the last one is the resource providers. Ada itong assets. Meaning, which is the transportation provider. Iya dinhi amo iton mga logistics na imo dinhi. Transportation provider, warehouse, cross-dock property facility, manufacturing or outsourcing, procurement service, co-packing service, assets, sa rin ko pa kanina, amo iton hiya dida under iton mga logistics from packing to delivery. The next one is